And that discussion basically is we want Kurtzman out. We do not want to work with that man. We do not want to work with the team. Skydance did not enjoy the experience, according to a few people I'm speaking to. The race to buy Paramount looks like it has been won by Skydance. And it's not good news for Alex Kurtzman. But good news for Star Trek fans! Welcome to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. Right, so why do I say it's not good for Alex Kurtzman? Well, over here at SciTrek, we get to speak to lots of people within the movie and entertainment industry. So this has to go very much into the rumour category because I'm hearing it from a third party, basically. So I'm not hearing it directly from the horse's mouth. And obviously, we prefer to get our news from the people involved if we can. But in this case, a couple of the people that I do get to speak to in the industry have been saying that they've spoken to people involved at Skydance, and they wanted to know what really Skydance's plans were. Now, this does actually go back about 6 months to when Skydance were first looking at buying Paramount. So not the most recent sort of contract negotiations and things. But there's no reason to suspect that their thinking would have changed. So, where are we at with the Skydance deal first? So, Cherie Redstone, who's in charge over National Amusements, has been talking to her employees, and she's basically told them that she expects by 2025 for the deal for an 8 billion quid deal to go through, where Skydance will buy National Amusements. That will effectively put them in charge of Paramount. Paramount will then buy Skydance and they will merge. That is going to happen in early 2025. It will then take probably 4, 5, maybe 6 months for all the legal stuff to get done, the Paramount merger with Skydance and blah, blah, blah. A new board to be put in place at Paramount, etc. That then gives them a few months until the secret hideout deal for Paramount with Paramount over Star Trek ends. So, as I said to you before, there's a lot of rumours knocking around. One of them would be in that basically, look, there was just not going to be enough time for Skydance to negotiate a new deal with Alex Kurtzman and Secret Hideout to move forward with Star Trek. There just wouldn't be enough time, so the chances are they would put through a quick renewal, which basically would just be renewed to, say, 2 or 3 years, and then they would think about it over that period, come up with a plan. I'm hearing that is not what Skydance want to do. Skydance did co-produce a couple of the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies a few years ago, and they did work with Alex Kurtzman. Alex Kurtzman was working on those movies with J.J. Abrams. And Skydance did not enjoy the experience, according to a few people I'm speaking to. That basically means that they have made it known, and apparently Secret Hideout know this, and that there is not an expectation that that contract will be renewed. Now, apparently, the people over at Skydance are more than happy to work with Gene Roddenberry's kid and Roddenberry Entertainment. So there is an opportunity here for some of the good work, actually, that Secret Hideout has done, because it's not been all bad, to continue. Roddenberry Entertainment could continue to work with Paramount producing something else. But basically, Skydance aren't even looking at this basically Star Trek Studios things we've spoken about in the past, where they would potentially buy out Alex Kurtzman and keep all the current production team, etc., in place and, move forwards that way. They don't even want to do that. Now, I don't know what that's going to mean necessarily for Star Trek, but we can sort of guess a little bit. If the contract is just not renewed, so it just comes to an end, anything that's in production at that point would just come to an end. So maybe they could come up with some sort of deal where they would continue producing what they're producing, but just not extended, and then just end, they just finish what they're doing, basically. I'm being told that there's actually lots of sort of things within the contract which allow products to continue if they're sort of halfway through. It just wouldn't, if the contract ends on the 1st of June, it just wouldn't end. They would just have to sort of there's a mop-up period where they could just conclude what they're doing, they'd just be paid pro rata sort of thing. That's a possibility. I think, though, that it'll basically come down to about 6 months before the contract ends, they will start winding down. Remembering as well, though, that this is actually produced through CBS as well, so there is the possibility of moving forwards. One of the problems is, though, that actually, even though Paramount own the IP of Star Trek, certain elements of what is produced through Secret Hideout is owned by Secret Hideout. So there is some question about whether things like Strange New Worlds would be able to continue. Again, I think they would, but I'm told by people who understand these things better than I do that it's more complicated than just saying they can. But it is quite big, and for me, shocking news that actually it's already been discussed over at Skydance about what they want to do with Star Trek. And that discussion basically is, we want Kurtzman out. We do not want to work with that man. We do not want to work with the team. Maybe they've listened to fans a little bit as well, and they're thinking, look, there is some toxicity there. There is a division within fan base about what we've done in the last few years with Star Trek. So, hey, maybe we do need that reset that some people are calling for. Me, personally, I actually think Secret Hideout has been doing a slightly better job with Star Trek in the last few years. And actually, I don't want them to throw the baby out of the bathwater. Yeah, okay, some of it has not been good enough. Discovery. First season in particular. But I actually love Lower Decks. I love it. I love parts of Prodigy. I love parts of Strange New Worlds, even though at times that annoys me. Singing Klingons. K-pop Klingons. Oh my God. But hey, I don't know. Maybe we just can find a way to keep the good stuff and move on. But I would love to see what somebody new can do with Star Trek. Letting the contract down is the simplest way of dealing with this. You know, guys, I've talked about other issues and other companies coming in and how complicated it can get. This is an easy way of doing it. And actually, the time frame looks like it might be the most logical and straightforward as well. So, guys, get into the comments and tell me what you think. Are you on board with this plan with Skydance? Do you think actually, yeah, that does make the most sense because just it's cleaner? Or actually, is it going to take too long, and would you prefer something else? Get into the comments, tell me exactly what you think. If you are new to the channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification. It really helps us out and you'll never miss any of our new videos. Also, you can go to patreon.com/SciTrek, where most of our new videos do premiere first. And you get to see them without the trailers, you lucky bunnies. As always, please stay safe, and I'll see you next time.